Mystic Vale. Now, if you don't know Mystic Vale, it is a card crafting game from the makers of AEG, or Alderac Entertainment Group, and it is quite an excellent new step in a good direction with an old mechanic that other games such as Gloom, over here, this is the second edition, have applied already to gaming. I won't be doing a unboxing or an instructional because AEG themselves have done an instructional, and you can look that up. I believe it's with a girl by the name of Becky Scott. Other reviewers have also done reviews on Mystic Vale, and so I wanted to critique one in particular, as well as make highlights of my own. Specifically, Shut Up and Sit Down made a review and said there's only about 3 plays within Mystic Vale. I would have to heartily disagree with him, because there is a level of depth of strategy in this game that makes it quite interesting the more you actually play it. I've had over 10 plays of this game with all varieties of player numbers, and quite frankly it continues to surprise me that there is little nuances that make a huge difference in the game. For example, on every turn you're going to push your luck. As you can see, here's the red deck laid out, giving you the display of all the options within your starting deck. So on your turn, you have the option to buy 2 advancements, as well as 2 Veil cards. Now the unique thing about this game is that you don't start off getting the spirits on your cards, such as the cards that are on the board here, which I'll bring some closer to the camera just to give some depth to this strategy. But the Veil cards themselves, if you start to build a strategy based on buying those, you get a lot more options. You know, 2 of these cards, this one only costs 3 spirits, but I'll give you a closer up example. So these 2 Veil cards both provide you with bonus mana when it comes to harvest time. As you can see, this is a level 2 Veil card, and this is a level 1. This only provides you 1 mana, but this buys you 2 mana, as well as gives you the option to buy 3 cards. This is an extremely powerful card. I really want to point it out. I'm just going to show you the different routes to strategy within the game. So starting off with the first level, you get a lot of these cards that end up chaining these guardian symbols, whereas this one gives you extra mana. Other ones, or other cards, such as the level 2, the Grove Tender gives you growth symbols for every guardian that you match with it on the card. So you end up with a few options as far as strategy goes, and that is, you know, going for growth symbols to offset the decay within your deck, giving you a much larger draw every turn and much more options, as well as bigger buying power. However, if you choose a different strategy, such as this level 1 Wellspring card, you'll see that it comes with 2 spirit symbols. Now these 2 spirit symbols allow you to buy the Veil cards. For this 1 advancement, you can start buying this Veil card. As you can see, they both have the same symbols. The more often you buy cards like that, the greater your buying power is instantly and constantly, not just on the turns when the Wellspring comes up in your hand or in your field. Another option even for your starting strategy is to try to weed out your deck with such cards as Cleansing Rain and Deadwood Harvester. Cleansing Rain allows you to actually pull your cursed land tiles out of your deck before you even draw them. So if you're near the bottom of your deck and you're thinking of pressing your luck, if your Cleansing Rain comes up, then you can just get rid of those cards out of the deck and increase your odds of not spoiling. With the Deadwood Harvester, you get to flat out just throw your curse cards out of the field that's already been in play. Now this is a level 3 card, so it's not that good of an example, but I can pull out some other ones. So going straight for points cards that do have decays on them gives you a much shorter draw, but it allows you to start stealing those points, which every game there's so many points in the game to be won. This is one of the early level 2 cards that you can purchase. If you buy this card, even though it's going to be detrimental towards your field size and how much you can draw, you're going to suddenly be drawing 3 points from the pool of points, which is the means to win the game. Another aspect of Mystic Vale that is good to note is that there's always 3 of every card, 1 in every position. So even though your opponent might get the jump on you by grabbing a card first, there will still be the option later in the game for you to grab that same card if that is within your strategy. There are quite a few strategies and quite a few plays in Mystic Vale, despite what Shut Up and Sit Down said. So I really want to encourage people to give it a try. I don't think Mystic Vale is for everyone. However, it is definitely a gamer's deck building game. I say that because there is a lot of options, and there is several different routes for strategy to be taken. You can try to counteract your DKs, or once again, you can try and get more spirit cards, this is the wild one, to buy the Veil cards, which are constant. A lot of the game, I think, is biased towards buying Veil cards, but if your opponent buys Veil cards, then you can go for the, point scoring and try and race them to the finish, because if they do get the harvest benefits, they do have a leg up, and that is a fact. The game is very luck driven, it's very quick though, plays quite well, plays short, but is still competitive from 2 to 4, and when you get to the 3 or 4 player range, it's a lot more beneficial for the setup between phases. If you're unaware of the setup, prior to your turn, you begin by drawing out your hand with here this prep phase. And so within the prep phase, you can spoil, and that gives you the press the luck option. So the one thing I have found with the 2-player game is that while you're taking your turn and you're deciding whether or not to push your luck further, or you're just having a hard time deciding what strategy to go for and you're buying, the other person could actually be already spoiled by doing their prep phase and pushing their luck too far. So in a 2-player game, you get the problem of one player spoiling while the other person still hasn't made their decision, so they have 2 turns to go back to back, which makes a 2-player game a bit convoluted. But I've found with a few plays with the same players, that kind of weeds itself out, and you learn to count your rounds better. But all in all, Mystic Vale is a great game. It's a great use of an old mechanism done in an exquisite manner. Easily an 8 on Board Game Geek. I never turn it down. I suggest it quite frequently, even despite having played it enough to review it. It's still a game I'm going to keep in my collection and going to repeatedly play. This is a little hint that comes with the game, showing you that you can pull off the protective films. As you might notice, I haven't pulled off all of mine because I just don't need to. And when I do, I'll get rid of them. But the game has that longevity, and it has replayability. And because of the high luck factor, every game's different. Even if you strive for the same strategy, you just might not get the draws. I've laid out a lot of options here, but every turn you only have 3 of each level. When the level 1s run out, the level 2s take their place on the board, which just continues to expand and speed up the strategy of the game. I give Mystic Vale a glowing review, and there's definitely far more than 3 plays in this game. I've played it 10 times, and I'll probably get to 20 without even having to suggest it, just because other people truly enjoy it. I think AEG is knocked out of the park with this one, and for the future, what they're planning, the Edge of Darkness, is going to be the next phase in this card crafting system. And it sounds quite exciting with worker placement as well as an RPG aspect. So it should be quite interesting. That's my review for Mystic Vale, and I hope you come back to the Game Tower to watch more game reviews. Peace.
Whoa, why you no focus?